Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people, and welcome back to Pine Pass in Cities Skylines, where things are going fairly well in our new area of Harris Shores, but they could certainly be better. You can see there is a massive demand for office and industry. Pretty strong demand for commercial and very little demand for residential. And that is because you have 16% unemployment. But I was kind of figuring that would happen. What's really awesome, though, is we have brought on enough population over here that our school should, hopefully at the end of this academic year, see some upgrades to 5-star. And we can finally finish that thing, which... controversial will mean I'm going to tear it all down and rebuild it, because that's how I handle the campuses in this game. It's just what makes sense to me. We're going to go in. We're going to do a little bit of low density back here because we have this park, and a little bit back here, and maybe even right along there and right along there. Some more offices right here. Don't want to get too close to the highway. No need to crowd things in here. And then back here, we are going to get a little closer with some high density commercial uses. Start bringing these jobs in for people and run that all the way down to there. By the way, in between videos, I did finish out our walking path, brought in a really long path there that we'll probably make a few more connections to. Just made a little connection over here and then extended. The city park was already over here, brought in gates and paths, and then put in the paths and extra gates in this one, and just went ahead and, put in some climbing frames, trampoline parks, cafes, things like that. I don't think you needed to watch me build another city park. So, I mean, it's there. It's basically, at this point, the same as just plopping down a park as far as its functionality. So, I am okay with that. I hope you're okay with that too. That I kind of made that decision and just plopped it down there. So it looks like our commercial is currently our big demand. I really don't want it there though because of noise. So we're going to go right there with offices. And then we'll come back in and around, and then we'll do some lower density commercial there. Well, I guess we don't have to make a connection there. I can just walk that way. It would be kind of nice to have a couple connections in here, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would. We're going to take out an office, aren't we? Nope. I thought we were going to, but we didn't. Distance too short, eh? I really liked that. There we go. That's a little bit better on connectivity. And then let's do the same down here while some of that starts building in. Just get a few more strategic connections to this pedestrian facility. And bikes can use it too. It's not just pedestrians that use these facilities. Occasionally, granted, it's snowing so hard we can't see anything. Hello? Can we see a biker, please? Maybe not. Speaking of, there goes one on the street. Speaking of, I realized I had built this whole area with bike path roads, which is totally, completely unnecessary. And so I tapped it down, and we do still have a bike network over here. It's a bit difficult to see given the snow. But you can kind of see here that these are just regular roads. This is just regular roads. I think our connection, yeah, here's our bike path connection. And of course our main street, which is Harris Street, which coincidentally runs the entire length of Pine Pass. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a few people who are not quite pleased with that in town, but they're just going to have to deal with it, aren't they? So I do want to think about our waste processing, especially as we start seeing this become an issue. And maybe that's what we do with this area out over here. Yeah, go ahead and connect it with a bridge somewhere to this road, and then bring that maybe a waste processing facility and hide it closer to the railroad. I was wanting to develop this land, but I mean, we need more waste processing. It's that or do it up over here somewhere. And I was really planning on having a nice mountainside little town up here, possibly. It looks like It looks like we could probably get away with it. Yeah, we have a significant elevation change, but it's spread out over a big enough distance that I think it would be fine. Is that it? I thought that was a car driving. It's bear. It's just a bear. So, yeah. We are waiting to see how this all fills in and what that leaves us with unemployment before we go any farther. Because we've still got a little gap here and a little gap here that we can fill in, at least in terms of our high density. We do have a bit of traffic in the area, but it's nothing that I'm too terribly concerned about. A lot of what's happening here is cargo trucks wanting to use this. I think the way to resolve that would be on just this bridge right here, banning cargo. Yeah, they would have to then go all the way up and that way, or they'd have to come down around that way, which might make traffic problems this way. I don't know. I wouldn't want to just send a bunch of heavy trucks this way. I think they would probably prefer the highway. I hope. I don't know. But if this remains a problem down here, see, it comes and goes. If it remains a problem, we'll deal with it. For now, it's all flowing fine. Traffic last I looked was sitting at like 82, and it's still at 82. Are we getting closer? We are getting closer to the end of our academic year. Let's look and see how well we're doing with our upgrades and educate more citizens. But it can't go any bigger than that anyway, because of the high-rise ban. So regardless of whether we educate more people, it's not going to get any more workspaces. Same, it looks like on these. Yeah, cannot level up. And a lot of this area, as far as the residential, is maxed out. It's there. And that went quick. Our low density hasn't even finished doing that. But man, these guys, they rushed right through. I wonder, is there a land value issue? Sort of. What I did find out, though, last time we were talking about capacity, as this area began to grow, we dipped down with 1950 being insufficient. So I am going to go ahead and bring in one more elementary school, probably back in this corner. It may seem unnecessary, but I think as the city grows, we will need that capacity. So I'm kind of okay with providing it. High school, we're so over capacity that it's kind of ridiculous. By 2,000 people, the town can grow a lot, and we still have room for those students. So we are just above our threshold by about 250 students. So we'll let this academic year tick by, and then we are going to tear down most of the entire trade school and start over. And there we go. Just like that, we are prestigious trade school. We have a prestigious trade school. How did I do it? I spammed a bunch of academic statues. It's kind of necessary. So we are going to pause the game, and I am going to get rid of everything that has capacity. In fact, we're going to get rid of everything except our 3 major buildings. And I think our graduation center, we're going to get rid of all of it. Simply because I want to rebuild in a way that makes sense for our population. We don't need 4,000 student capacity, especially if I want to build any of the other universities. We don't need this one having that much capacity. I do just want to touch up the train right here a bit. Gonna bring that out quite a ways into the river and just bring our brush strength down and just tap that back. Hopefully that doesn't cause flooding. I think that'll be fine though. I think it'll be just fine. So cool, we have our main administration building, we have our police academy, and we have our School of Tourism and Travel, which is very important in this town. And now we have available to us the School of Engineering, which increases all generic zone industry income while reducing city water consumption and sewage outlet, which is going to be, I think, fairly important in this town. However, this does not fit over here anywhere. Yeah, I could probably shoehorn it in right across the street here, but I don't think I want to. I think I kind of want to bring this out and have it be its own feature piece out over here if I can get the land to cooperate with me. And that's probably going to be the challenging part. So let's close that, bring that down, and then open this back up. There we go. I wanted that brush to be smaller. And let's see what we can do about leveling a pad for this building to sit on. And actually, I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as I first anticipated. I think we're going to be able to get away with it here and still have room to smooth things out and make it look all right. So far, that is what it's looking like. I know I'm going way over here, and that is quite on purpose. I'm just going to keep moving all the way over. Right, like that, and back to here. Lovely. Cool. So let's get our road. What road are we using here? It looks like we used bicycle paths all for this as well. Did we really? That doesn't have bicycle paths. That doesn't have bicycle paths. But that looks like a bicycle path. What road are you? You are... No, you're just 2-lane road trees. Cool. That's what I want. So we're going to turn all this off. We're going to grab from this height, change that, and come straight across here to right where we leveled off, like right there. And then we're going to bring that up roughly following the shore here, like to about right like there. Let's turn off our road guidelines there. Nope. Let's turn off everything except angle. Let's just turn off everything. Here we go. That works a lot better. I want to still turn off everything. Now, there we go. Okay, cool. So we'll come up to about here. The building's going to face out that way, so I wanted to get right on the edge there. Now I'm going to turn all these back on. I'm going to make a connection right here like that. And then I'm not in love with what's happening here for a corner. So I think I'm going to try to convince our mods to do some work for us. And that's much nicer. Have some things happening here, but I think it'll be all right. So we're going to come in, and since we do have the trade school area extended out over here, I thought we did. We did have, oh, we did it this way. Okay, so we were originally planning on going this way, and we're going to leave that, actually. In fact, we're going to cheese this, because I think we're going to need some of this area to get our attractiveness score. But I don't think we're going to need any of this down here in the middle of the water. In fact, we can just sever that. Doesn't need to exist. And then I'm going to bring this, and you're probably thinking, what are you doing? You'll see. You'll see. So, back into what I was doing with placing our next building right there. It is very close to the highway, but I went to a trade school that was right next to a major rail yard. Never heard it. You never, ever, ever, ever heard it. One, there was lots of landscaping. And two, there was a nice sound, actual big concrete sound wall that they had built between them. But three, the building on that end, and I found this out because I was, IT was my thing. And in my cabling class that I took, we actually had to, in the one classroom that was on the end of that building where the rail yard was, they had it set up so that we could set up and take apart, set up and take apart, set up and take apart several cable runs of different types. And one of the challenges was the walls on that end of the building were much thicker than the rest of the building. They were double thickness, in fact. And you could see it whenever you went in through a door that was on that end, that there was a significant change there. You know what? I am going to change my mind on what we did here, because I just realized I have an opportunity. I'm going to bring this down, and then let's see, the building is there. Yeah, so I want a road that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want the road right here. We're just going to bring that back. We're going to come in here, and we have an asset from Old City Planner Plays. And we now have a parking lot right next to that guy. I wish it could get closer, but there's that. I could do Service Painter, but I'm not going to. What I am going to do is turn on Anarchy and do that. Yeah, that's, never mind. That's, no, I don't want to delete that. Yeah, I'm not going to ever get that now, am I? Let's turn off, let's do picker and see if I can't. Nope. All right, turn off picker and get rid of all of this except nodes and segments. There we go. And now I can select that and delete it. Cool. And then we can turn that off and turn all these back on. How do you get rid of picker? Like, how do you clear that? Am I just forever? No, okay, it's cleared. Okay. I was about to say, am I just forever stuck with that? Let's see what we can do with. Actually, looks like we're gonna get away with it. Though, I've changed my mind again. We are gonna make a connection here, but we're gonna put trees right there just for landscaping and make it pretty. We're gonna go with a different pine. May not be the pine. Oh yeah, I gotta turn this one on. Which one do I have to turn on to make that happen? There we go. We're gonna go with a different pine than what is growing in the region. I like those. And then we're going to turn those back off so we don't wind up with trees growing in the middle of the road. Now the problem is I've got this coming in at a completely different angle. So I am not afraid to tear stuff down, can you tell? I will gladly just build and rebuild all day long. So if we bring that in here to right about... start anarchy back off. It's right there. Let's relocate you temporarily and then delete that and then use our curved road tool. That is not going to give me what I want. So we're going to have to turn all these off, bring this over just a smidge, go to the curved road tool, turn all of our snap twos back on, and wha-bam. And then hopefully this will still, that's what I was afraid of. So we're gonna, I could move it down to here. Yeah, this is problematic. All right, so this has to be here. This is just a non-negotiable at this point that we have to have this road. Okay, fine. We will put a little tiny stub right there, and then we're gonna use the mod. I'm gonna say we want it elevated. And we want you to create curve from there to there. We'll just have a curvy bridge. I'm fine with it. I like it. Cool. So we can put this guy back and we're going to bump him over just a little bit. So there's a little bit of separation there. And now what we need to do is find the middle of our trade school campus. And we're down at 250 attractiveness score. We do have 3,000 capacity though, which is fine. Actually, I don't think we have 3,000 capacity. We do have 3,000 capacity. Why is it reporting lower than that? Because that doesn't have water. That's 1,000 though, so that's odd. Well, let's get its water pipes and heating pipes. As I click all the wrong buttons. There we go. Does that resolve our numbers? So you say we have 3,000. Up here, there we go. Now it says we have 3,000. Cool. So we are going to pause again because now we have to get 1,550 attractiveness points into this campus. And I do not want to increase the capacity. So it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So what I want to do is use a lot of this land that we have to come in and do some nice decorative things. So we can bring in one statue there. We can bring in the other statue over here. And then we can come down here and grab a fountain. Sadly, I don't think I can like back that off away from that path. I'm going to try and see if it complains about not being connected. I'd like it to sit central like that. So if I unpause, are you going to complain that you're not connected? No, you're fine. Cool. Good. Good. And receiving people spawning. I thought I saw people spawning, but yeah, it's happy. So that gets us up to a whopping 475. Not enough. So we're going to continue to remain paused, and then we're going to look at our other buildings that don't really have capacity, one of which that helps with attractiveness is groundskeeping. We can sneak that in kind of probably back here somewhere, maybe even just on the back side of this. No, it clashes with that. We could probably just go like right here. No, it does. Okay, let's go back there then. That's where it's going to go. So I don't want dorms if I can get away with it. I don't want study halls, things like that. We can maybe do the book club. It's only 50 students and all of those. But we have things like the cafeteria that do not actually add capacity in any way. And another building that we have that is the same is, once we find it, the bookstore. There we go. So we can throw in a bookstore over this way. And then let's go ahead and, even though they do add a bit of capacity, we're going to make this kind of like the club area. It's a nice, beautiful quad. Students would like coming to this area. So we are going to add in all 3 clubs just to get a little bit of help. And then we'll put our book club. Actually, let's move volleyball closer to the highway because of noise. And we're going to do a book club right there. That gets us to 840. We got a long way to go. A very, 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 very long way to go. We're going to do a little bit of zoning here and probably even back here. So I don't want to do too much over here. In fact, let's look and see where this road would go. Just put you on the ground. Let's turn our snap twos on. It would ideally, I would want it to go like here, but that's not gonna make a connection. So if I go there, then we're into funkiness with the train. But if I bring it around and turn it like that, that works. I'm good with that. We'll do some commercial uses back over here, probably a little bit right here as well. And then I want to bring in just a bit more residential back here to this area. So we went 1200 and we can make our connection here. Gonna have to have a bit of a curve though. So now we've got a through connection into the school where you can make a turn there and go through. And I just want to sever this stub now. I don't want to go any farther out than that. And then here we're going to go 600, but I want to keep our train on. Hello, come back. Thank you. I'm going to go 600. And then we're going to come out here and do some cul-de-sacking. And it's just going to have to be okay. This we will connect down. I want this to come in at a 90. There we go. And then we can just have some land with some trees back here to kind of absorb some of that sound. We can maybe eventually bring this road down this way, but we'd have to bridge. We don't want to intersect a local road on that major arterial. So our graduation area still has a nice view of the river, despite the fact that we are going to eventually bring in some residential back here. Right now, we don't need residential, so we're not going to mess with it. Now we need way, way more attractiveness. So let's come back into the right menu. And this is where this DLC really annoys me. So we're just going to throw an academic statue. Actually, I wish I could get one to either side there. I didn't leave myself enough space here. Or even up here. That would be kind of cool. I guess we could continue with some up here. Like right opposite the school. It's just kind of like a marquee area. So if we did that and then put a fountain between them. That makes a nice little area. I dig it. I wish they all three had the same texture, but they don't. So we're up to 1065. So now this is where all of this area over here will start coming into play in just a moment. What we're going to do is see if we can maybe cram a bookstore back here. I think a bookstore might be a little bit too close, actually. Maybe we'll celebrate one of the founders of the city, or we could do a nice decorative fountain the school is contributing to the neighborhood. Yeah, that's not too shabby. We could even do like a book club over here. Maybe this is some student housing, and so that I mean, it looks like a house. It fits in fine. So we do, that's our history book club, and this is our people of color book club, and we can have a couple book clubs all around. It does add capacity though, and I want to be careful about adding capacity because we're now up to 3,200, but we're up to 1190 for attractiveness, so we're getting there. Let's look and see what we can do with bookstores. Where's my bookstore? Bookstore. Yeah, bookstore. So I'm thinking, come on, there we go. If I come up here, it is unfortunately going to break our path. So if that's the case, what's here? Is it just the path that's there that it's saying space already occupied? What is... Oh, it just doesn't fit with the road. It looked like it fit. Well, that's fine. This doesn't generate any traffic, so we're going to drop it right there on the road. And then we are going to change this path up, and we're going to bring it across here instead of where we did bring it through. And we're just going to give them their commercial back. So, that didn't do much for us. 1240. So this is where we start contributing fountains and statues to the neighborhood. And it's ridiculous, but whatever. It's the nature of it. I've never understood why attractiveness is a thing for campuses in this game. I've never really gotten it. But since it's here, we have to deal with it. And that is what we're going to do. We are going to just deal with it. So our campus comes all the way over to here. So we could realistically even, if I had space like inside the park here. Oh, it's not in a campus area. Okay, yeah. And parks and campuses conflict with each other. So let's do a nice little statue in this area. It is going to kill our path. That's all right. And then maybe a statue on the other end. It's probably going to say not campus area. No, it's fine with it. Cool. And that should get us up to 12 or 13. 1540. Oh my gosh, we're so close. And yeah, I know if I used the... I don't think... Yeah, we still want to keep scholars. If we had some sports, that would help a lot. But... this area is not in any way equipped to handle that influx of traffic that we would get, and we have no mass transit yet, so we just kind of have to deal with it. I'm just looking for any other little areas that we could throw statues and fountains in. And you know what? Here's a perfect place, because we're not going to generate any traffic with those. So that's lovely. And then we can maybe even give it like a nice little neighborhood fountain right here. Oh, no, we cannot. Go away. Be gone, demon fountain. That was scary. So we've got a bookstore over here. I don't really want to get... I guess I could do another one over here. And they do help because they're one of the later buildings. And they do give you a nice little bump. So we're going to throw another one in and kind of center it right next to that path. And then what we'll do is bring that path in right here. It's going to say space already occupied, but I'm going to say, no, it's not. It's fine. Trust me. And look at that. That backs up to the back of the bookstore beautifully. So that gets us to 1665. We're so close, guys. We are so close. So I think a good place to go is back over to our main campus. And gosh, I wish the fountains had a higher value. We will do another fountain here. And then we're going to do another statue. If I had more variety in the statues, I wouldn't mind them so much. I think, but the fact that unless you just want to place one of every building, There we go, 1815. Awesome. Unless you want to place one of every building, you're stuck with just repeating things over and over and over again. But we did it. We're there. The way I do these, I know, is controversial. Some people hate it and have told me as much in live streams when I do that and in previous build videos. But I think it's making the most of a really strange leveling up system. I don't think I'll ever quite be able to get behind the whole attractiveness idea. I have several times tried to figure out how to just take the vanilla assets of the fountains and just make them worth like 1500 attractiveness. I just don't know how to do it. If you do and want to make it for me or tell me how to make it, I would greatly appreciate it. Because I don't know. Like I said, I just think it's silly that you have to have attractiveness, that's a thing to level up your school. I can understand the academic side of it and some level of attractiveness, but to get to that number without also using varsity sports, I mean, not many trade schools have varsity sports, so it's kind of silly. We still have big unemployment, so that means we know what we're going to put in these sections right over here. We do have childcare there, a skating rink there, and death care there. So let's be a little more thoughtful about what we put in these areas. We've got a playground right there. Let's kind of separate this school area off with a fence. And let's use our forestry fence and just bring that right across there. That works. And then we can just kind of dot some trees in there as well. Let's just grab the tree that is on the map. There we go. So we can just to kind of screen the school from the commercial that's going to be here. Or you know what? Let's do offices like right here and here, and then some really small, low density commercial just there. Cool. We've got this area inside the park, but I'm always hesitant to use that for any zoning. And I think I'm going to maintain that hesitancy. You know what I'm trying to say. Today. I'm going to maintain it today. So we'll get some more offices in right through there. This area, I think we can get away with a few offices. Not a lot, just because of what's already here. And I think that this area would be better served with some commercial back here. Up by the childcare center. Pick up your kid from the childcare center and pick up a gallon of milk while you're at it. And then just for the workplaces, we're going to go a little bit higher density on this side of the road than I wanted to. But I think it's warranted because we're kind of running out of space unless I want to do something right behind the elder care facility. And I don't, because I think that that's a nice facility on the back. And I, if anything, would just prefer to put a path leading up to it and some trees. Can you even put a path leading up to that? You can. Ooh, so let's do this. Let's turn all that off. Bring this up like that. And give them like a little walking path back here. Not much, just a little curved path. So they can, you know, go do some shopping and things. They're not bedridden. They're just, you know, in a care facility. They're not dead. And we'll just, I know I haven't done detailing in a while. We need to do some detailing. I may do that in a live stream. If you're not following on Twitch, please do follow on Twitch. I've tried streaming Cities Skylines on YouTube and it just, nobody watched. So I'm not gonna try that again. So that should help start bringing down our unemployment. We now have a prestigious trade school that will, of course, go back and forth as our population becomes educated if we don't continue pumping new people in. But overall, I think we've done good work. We haven't done a lot of work. We've kind of just worked in areas that already existed. But there were changes that needed to happen. We will, like I said, get some commercial in over here by the school. In fact, let's go ahead, since we still have the demand, and look and see where are some good strategic locations for just a few dabs of commercial in through here. And I think that's all good. And then I'm really tempted to do like a row of offices. Like these could be academic and internship and things like that. And they can look out onto this park area and take advantage of the cafeteria and the bookstore. I think that's a nice synergy to have some offices there. And then we'll resume with commercial down to there. And we'll go ahead and do a little bit over here with commercial. Not a lot. I want to pay attention to what's going on with the terrain. And yeah, it's starting to get pretty steep right there. So that's where we will stop it. But that should help a lot with unemployment. Yeah, we're down to 10%. Of course, we have to let things kind of normalize, and that's why I let the game run in between videos just to see where we are with our population and our needs and things. But we are well on our way to Capital City, which I think once we hit that, we're going to maybe jump across the river and start doing some stuff over there, or maybe get a transit hub in first. I mean, what do you build first, the tourism destination or the transit hub to bring it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, though I may have already recorded the video before then, so who knows. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this one. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.